Jake and Joy from Cook with Jake and Joy, and Derek.
Hi.
And we're in season 9 of our cooking show, which is just so amazing. And hopefully you're sharing this with your friends. And hopefully it's becoming your favorite cooking show.
It's my favorite cooking show.
It's our favorite cooking show. Hey, today we do a lot of different things on this show. The first thing we do is we try to get people to start eating a more plant-based and a gluten-free diet. And that might mean that you're new to this. And that's totally fine. And if you're not new to this and you're looking at our stuff going, you're using fake cheese and you're using packaged things, this isn't a show for you.
No one talks like that.
Anyway, we also try to take recipes that are traditionally dairy full or meat full and glutinous, and we turn them into a gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan dish. We also like to go to restaurants and try to figure out how to make the dish that they did. And sometimes the chefs will give us a recipe. Last season we did a couple of recipes that were from restaurants. But this year we've been wanting to make this recipe for a really long time. We ate at this Boulder restaurant that we cannot even remember the name of. If you know what one we're talking about, let us know. They had this amazing twice-baked acorn squash.
It was so good. It was beyond. And it's not open anymore, that restaurant.
Right.
So we can't remember the name of it. Neither can Derek.
Ah.
But we found a recipe that we're gonna use. We're gonna adapt it to be vegan. And the one thing I'm wondering as I look at the ingredient list is that I feel like the one that we had a little bite of cinnamon in it. Do you think it did?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I can't remember well enough.
All right.
You just remember it was good.
Yeah, it was
All
so
right.
good. We immediately were like, oh my God. We ordered it again. We ordered it twice because it was so good. All right, before we get started, I'm going to give you the ingredients list so you can follow along with us. So you need 2 small acorn squash, olive oil, 3 tablespoons Miyoko's butter, 2 cups spinach leaves, not baby spinach, although we found that we want to use more, so we might do 3 cups of spinach. 1 clove of garlic, again, we always like to add more. 2 tablespoons heavy cream, and we found the Silk brand does that. 1/2 cup freshly grated Parmesan cheese, 1/2 teaspoon kosher salt, 1/4 teaspoon freshly ground black pepper, 3/4 teaspoon smoked paprika. And then as far as equipment, you do need a lasagna pan.
What you want to do is start with acorn squashes, and you can usually get these almost any time of the year. And smaller is easier to handle, and it's also cuter. I got a bigger squash, and I'm like, this is not going to be cute. Acorn squashes actually cut pretty easily, and you cut them from the top to the bottom. And then you're going to take out the seeds and place them upside down on a baking sheet. And
with parchment paper.
I used parchment paper. The recipe said to use oil, but it's so messy. I like to use parchment paper almost all the time, and it doesn't add any oil to it. So you bake it at 350 or 400. I did 400, and I think I overdid it a little bit. These are as they're cooled. Now, while they're cooling, we're going to melt some butter. We're going to add, and this is Miyoko's butter. This is a cultured cashew butter. And as we've said before, there are lots of quote-unquote faux products out there, but very few of them are really actually good for you. So we're going to get that melting, and then we're going to squeeze some garlic into it. It calls for 1 clove of garlic, but once again, true to form, we're going to add more because we like more. And I'm going to use my beat-up garlic press that actually works better than my fancy schmancy Cuisinart one. This one actually gets the cloves of garlic to go through it. I don't know why this season we keep getting people asking us to use garlic presses. I usually never do, but I'm being a good girl and I'm following the recipes. Okay, let's get that going. We'll get that nice and melty. And once it's nice and melty, we are going to add spinach. And the recipe says to not use baby spinach. This is spinach off of our Tower Gardens at Chapala Gardens. We'll be showing you that in this season. I took the stems off of them. And what I do always with stems off of any plants that I'm using, the peelings of them, I save them and I make broth out of them. And we are actually doing a broth recipe on this season of Cook with Jake and Joy. So we're going to add about 2 cups of whole spinach. And we're going to add that to the pan. And we're going to let it cook until it gets kind of wilty. I got 1 stem on there. And let's get a cover on that, Jake. It'll get it wilty a little bit faster. And one thing I want to do is kind of get all of this goodness all over the spinach, right? This is a very technical way to do this, flipping with your fingers. Mm-hmm. I've seen it done at Cordon Bleu chef restaurants. And we'll get that wilty. Now, while that's getting wilty, we are going to scrape the flush. Do you want to do this part?
Yeah.
Don't, you gotta be careful because I think it's a little bit soft on the outside, but you want it soft
this
enough.
bowl?
Yeah, into that bowl.
It looks so good. Yeah, the skin is thin.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah, you can, and we made twice baked potatoes in one of our seasons, and you can leave a little bit of the flesh. That's fine. That's actually delicious to get some of that left in it. And to that, we're going to add a few things. We're going to add, it calls for heavy cream, and I thought, God, what are we going to do? Because all the heavy creams that we know of are really creamers, and they don't work, but Silk just came out with this dairy-free heavy whipping cream, and I love it. It's delicious. Now, like most things that are faux dairy, it mostly has oil in it, but it also does have some fava beans. And if you watch Silence of the Lamb, you're a big fan.
And that fits into
fava beans.
G-bombs.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yes, very much.
What's G-bombs again?
Greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, seeds, and we add avocado.
We add avocado.
G-bombs.
Yeah, so we've got the spinach, which are the greens. We've got fava beans in our whipping cream. We're going to add 2 tablespoons to the flesh, and we're going to start mashing this. And we're going to add, go ahead, we're going to add a 1/4 cup.
You know, getting it this soft makes it really easy.
It's
so I think
so
it's nice
super
to have
easy.
it this soft,
Yeah.
even if you didn't mean to get it
Yes,
that soft.
yes.
It makes
We're going
it
to add a
so
1/4 cup of faux Parmesan, and once again, we're using the Forager Project. They use cashews, they use cashew culture, they use coconut milk, so it's not just all a bunch of oil that's been shaped into something. I love that. We are going to use a, how much is it of the paprika? I've got smoked paprika. It's 3/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1/4 teaspoon of fresh ground pepper, and 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. Now, I don't know why they say that matters, but they do. So Jake's going to mash that all together.
It smells really good.
And then we're going to add more butter. And we're going to mash that in. And this is Miyoko's butter. This is going to be fatalicious. You know, we have thousands and thousands of taste buds on our tongue, but our tongue is always looking for 3. You know what those 3 are?
Salt, sugar, fat.
Yes. So if you can satisfy those, you know, avocado is a great way to satisfy the fat taste, and we use dates in some of our stuff. That's a great way to satisfy the sweet taste. And with salt, we've used celery before to add the salt, and that really does a great job without giving too much sodium. Okay, so these are looking nice and wilty. Let's have a look. I need a spatula.
Also, the reason that I turned the stove down, which I'm glad that I did.
Good
You
job.
had it on high. Oh my gosh, that smells amazing. The garlic. I mean, I think anytime you do garlic in Miyoko's, it's a win.
That's right. You know, baby spinach gets a lot more wilty. I don't know, this is what they called for, so we're going to do it. And it's also not chopped up. If I was coming up with this recipe, I think I would chop it up.
Yeah, because there's going to be big bites that you're going to get in
Well,
there. But
although it's probably we're going to bake it more,
Oh.
so it is going to be pretty baked.
wilty.
Yeah.
You're waiting to get in there with your spoon?
I am.
I'm already doing it.
I know, but I want to be involved.
I see that.
I have a spatula. It's bigger. Watch this. Watch this technique. See how much more mixy it is? See how much better that is?
She's not agreeing with you.
No.
Even if she does agree, she's not going to agree.
Do you think that's good?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to fill each half of
Let me do it.
All right, fine. I'm going away. So we're going to make sure we don't get too much of spinach. That's the thing about not chopping up.
I know,
If I did this over again,
Yeah,
I would chop the
it.
spinach. Yes. Stupid whoever made up this recipe.
Fighting words. Okay.
Making it cute. Oh God.
That's what happens when you use a spatula instead of a fork. No precision.
Look, you don't fill a thing with a fork. Who would fill a thing with a fork? A spoon, yes. A fork?
Well, a fork is what I had access to at the time.
let's use the
Yeah.
Let's use the measuring spoon.
The pregnancy
test measuring spoon. So, in my opinion, this needs a little bit more stuff, but
Be
maybe
overflowing.
yeah,
maybe? A little bit
yeah.
more?
So I don't know about that. I would probably add more spinach.
Yeah.
But it's probably going to taste delicious.
I think it's going to be awesome.
But I would probably add more spinach to it myself. I would add more spinach and I would cut it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
let me
for-
taste.
I had tasted it. It's good.
It's really yum.
It's really good.
Acorn squash just has such a different taste, and all squashes have a myriad of carotenoids in them, and the color of the flesh, the orange, is just really, really fantastic for you. So I'm excited about this.
This would make a really fun, fancy, but also easy dish to bring as a side dish.
Yes.
Or have, so like if you're feeling like I want to be fancy but not too difficult, this is a really
I'm surprised that we thought it was going to be
yeah.
so tough. I might add cinnamon to it. It doesn't have cinnamon
with
in
the
it.
spinach. I don't know.
Yeah, I like cinnamon. Cinnamon's just kind of an unusual. Like no one expects it. You know, you get it in like Moroccan food and stuff, and I just really
Maybe
like
we
it.
should have put these together on the pan.
No, it's fine. Just lift them up, put them over. I'm going to use the same pan that I got them soft on.
Well, you could. You might as well do it on the
Right.
pan. Just if you're,
yeah.
we'll skip a step.
Oh yeah, putting them together. I just wanted it to be pretty for
I
the
see.
camera. See?
I see.
Yeah, I'm getting fancy like that.
I see.
Jake said, it's like we have a cooking show. All right, we're going to put those back in the oven.
Okay.
It says 350. I've done it at 400 because I did the first part at 400. And you put it back in until the cheese melts on top. It's warm and it'll come out. It's really not really baking anymore. It's just getting warm. And there you have it.
Okay, I think they're ready.
How long has it been in there?
About 15 minutes. So I think if we cook them any longer, they're going to be overcooked.
Yeah, but the cheese isn't really
The
melty.
cheese, and all of these cheeses say that they melt, but I think maybe you have to use a fancier, like maybe a broiler. Should we put them on we can put them
We
on
need like a tong to pick them up.
You think so? Hold the pan. A tong would squish them, I think. There we go. Yeah. Okay, now we just got to wait for them to cool,
And then we'll try a bite.
and then we'll try a bite. But I think they look pretty good.
They look good.
Yeah, and then we have cheese inside that's going to be
Right.
melted. So
Yes.
if I was going to do this again, I probably wouldn't.
Put cheese on top.
Right.
Yeah, because then yeah.
Same thing with the enchiladas, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, look good.
Yeah, twice baked acorn squash, and they were actually pretty simple.
Yeah, and the filling tastes really good, so I think they're gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I think they're going to be too. So here's what we would do. We would do differently. We would add more spinach. We would chop it up.
Yeah.
We would cook the flesh a little bit less. And we would not put the
Cheese on top.
Cheese on top. That's it. From Jake and Joy.
See you next
See you
time.
next time.